Klorets is a Dojin shooting game by Nizakashi. It came out a few years ago, and it is very reminiscent of Espgaluda in terms of how it plays. You'll see the Klorets, which is funnily enough, is spelled with a C in the little game window up there, but a K in the title. Don't know why that is, but it doesn't matter. You get these Klorets, these green items, as you kill enemies without focusing, like I'm doing right here. And then, so there's the green items. And then when you do focus up, you spend those green items to turn enemy bullets into golden scoring items. And the entire game is this push-pull between killing enemies as bullets are moving very quickly in order to build up your green energy, which maxes out at 500, and then spending that energy at the optimal times when certain enemies are on screen or the screen is flooded with bullets in order to convert all of those bullets to points. It's that simple, and I think aside from like a few nitpicks I have, this is a great shooting game. It's super fun to just pull back and forth these different systems to enter slow motion and watch the bullets build up. And yeah, you can see that I think this is the case in Espgaluda too, where the more golden items you collect in a single, this game calls it a hyper. It's really like a focus. The more points they're worth. And so it behooves you to build up quite a lot of green and then let it loose at a time where you can really rack up a bunch of gold in a single focus. And so, yeah, that's really the gist of the gameplay. I don't like these spinning bullets. This is kind of a good showcase of what I don't like about this game, which is that there's some kind of funkiness going on with the hitbox. I don't know if it's the hitbox of the ship or the bullets themselves, or just the nature of the game being super low res. But there's something like I basically took a bunch of hits when playing this, when practicing, that I just didn't feel like made a ton of sense in the moment. I didn't go back and like watch them or care too much. I mean, I'm still saying it's a great game regardless of that, but that's one little notch against it. The fact that maybe the bullet sprites are, them being so low res, or maybe the fact that your ship sprite is so chunky and the green hitbox is right in the middle. Maybe if it were like up toward the nose a little bit, it would feel better. I don't know. Can't really say what was causing me to like not read this quite right, but I got used to it pretty quickly. That was just kind of at the very beginning. I just kind of kept getting clipped and was slightly confused at why, but no big deal. Oh look, it has like zone choice like in Darius, so that's really cool. I really like the lo-fi aesthetic and the FM synth music. I don't know what the story is or what these little characters are saying, but overall I think the game's presentation is really nice. I like the music. I think the music is probably, it'll probably rub some people the wrong way just because it's like these little bleeps and bloops that it almost sounds like menu music when it's a shoot 'em up and you want like hard pumping like synth or whatever. But I kind of dig it. I dig how different it feels, and while there might be some issue with the hitbox feel, very slight issue, there's certainly no visibility issues here other than that to speak of. Everything is super clear, and it needs to be because the bullets really flood the screen later in the game, and you need to do some pretty precise dodging. One interesting thing that I noticed is that I don't think it's like unintentional, or I don't think it's just happenstance that the normal bullets, when you're not focused, are red. If you know the game Espgaluda, you know that it works slightly differently than this in that there's kind of the normal speed of the game, And then there's Kakusei speed, which is the bullets turn purple like they do in this game, and that's when you build up score and spend your green energy, your gems. But then there's also over mode, and the bullets in over mode are extremely fast and they're red, and that's you get into over mode in Espgaluda when you have used up all your Kakusei gems, your green gems, but then you stay in Kakusei, and in what is normally slow motion, and the bullets become super fast, but you can still get scoring items that way. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because the normal bullet color, the color of the bullets in this game when you're not focused or doing the slow motion, are red. And so I think, and the speeds, the bullet speeds are really fast when you're not kind of slowing them down on purpose. Not so much for the bosses, but for the stages I noticed it more. And so I think like the philosophy of this game is like, we're just going to have the base mode be kind of like over mode of Espgaluda. And so it's basically, to me, it's like saying we're putting more emphasis on just engaging with the scoring and the slowing, the slow motion. Whereas Espgaluda, you could kind of hang out in the normal state with the blue bullets, and for much longer periods of time. This game seems to be saying, nope, it's either over mode, crazy fast bullets, or like super duper slow bullets. And the music slows down too and gets like very like dreamy. So that could rub people the wrong way with this. It doesn't like have a, just the fact that it's so binary in that way, and it's those two extremes, and I just don't know that for some people that would work, or it would appeal to them. It might be a hidden kind of minus of this game, where it's like you're either going super frantic or you're going kind of very slow, through the mud almost, and while dodging can be super fun in slow motion mode. It's really it's less about dodging and more about like timing it to cancel bullets. So I don't know. It's just an interesting point of design. I found it really engaging, and I quite enjoyed it. This isn't exactly like a game that you would sit down and route super heavily. At least I don't think it's like super appealing for that personally. It's more just like get a few playthroughs, try and get a high score, and move on to something else. That's kind of the speed of this game, in my opinion. Certainly you could route it if you liked it that much, but I found it fun to kind of react to those like those moments where I didn't have slow mode ability, and then just like use it simultaneously, use the focus simultaneously for score and just for like getting out of the shit. I'm sure I've gained a few lives since I started playing, but the other deal with scoring is that every 500 scoring items that you get, oh geez, see, the patterns just came too fast there and it just overwhelmed me. Every 500, I'm looking up there, they're called kinkai, the little diamonds, those golden scoring diamonds that you get an extend. So like with many of the best scoring shmups, they incentivize you to score by letting you, exchanging more survival for a higher score. So you definitely just, if you're playing this game The fun is in just ripping off huge cancels and getting, putting yourself in danger that way, but getting extra lives to keep doing it. It's very fun. Oh, shit. So there's definitely some optimization to be done in my kind of strategizing when I'm like how long I'm letting these enemies sit and how long their their patterns are going to build up for the maximum amount of score. But past the first two stages, I found myself constantly scraping the bottom of the barrel of green energy, because I believe the way it works in this and the way it works in Espgaluda is the bigger cancels you get, the more it eats up of your energy. And so it's like you can only count on one giant cancel or two maybe per like stash of green gems before you have to collect more. That's what it feels like anyway. I can't speak scientifically to like the numbers behind it, but it just feels like if you cash in big, you empty your gauge faster, which makes sense. I mean that it definitely is. That's the push and pull of it again. Oh, these clumps of enemies are good. That was a good chunk of gems I just got there. And see, it would have been nice to kill those ones that were left, but I just didn't have enough green energy to do it. Part of me was wondering if I played a few more times, if it would be worth trying to get up to 500 every single time, no matter kind of what was on screen, and then cash in the 500 gems to 0 and then do it over again and make it really rigid in that way. I wondered whether that would get me more score. Oh, look, here's a hitbox test. That looked pretty reasonable. I wondered whether doing it like that, like building up to 500 and then going all the way down, again, regardless of the enemy or pattern on screen, would be better. Because what I was doing is like trying to, whenever there were a bunch of bullets on screen, like whatever amount of energy I had, I was like, ooh, gotta cash in on this, and then whittled 100 gems down to 0. Well, that might not be the optimal way. There's definitely some experimenting I could have done. Oh, that was just dumb. I just didn't move. Okay, here we go. I dodged this better now. Yikes, I think I lost 2 lives in quick succession there. Ooh. Well, I'm at 0 now. And I still have some slow motion. Oh, by the way, in the bosses in the bottom left, you see the phase health, essentially. Kind of sucks that it's a number down at the very bottom. I wish they would have figured out a more visually, like a more visible place to put that. But it does give you, like Espgaluda does, the little chime when you're about to hit 0, and it turns pink. So if you need the visual, if you just kind of put it in your periphery and you see the pink flash and you hear the chime, it's time to go into slow mode to cancel all the bullets. It's fun, like the vaporwave aesthetic, where you want to go with the palm trees. Whatever these guys are saying, and then all the zones are named after moons as far as I can tell. Unsure why. Okay, so this is the second to last zone, and I think in defeating that boss I somehow got 2 lives back. I don't exactly know when that happened. Maybe during the fight or maybe afterward when it was tallying up the score, because I was definitely at 0 when I last checked in on it. So might have to go back and see for myself what the hell happened there. That's the fun of Dojin games. It's like, none of this probably was like ultra meticulously play tested. So there's all kinds of fun, wacky stuff that breaks, or that can be broken, or that's just like the charming output of a single STG loving mind, as opposed to a team, you know, that was like market testing to make an arcade game that makes money. This is just someone who probably loved Espgaluda and just wanted to make their own, and did it really well, in my opinion. Oh, it's so satisfying. What a satisfying system they came up with. Espgaluda is definitely one of the best cave games, in my opinion, both in terms of like its aesthetic and in terms of its scoring. Nice. So here in these last levels, you can really rack it up. Ugh. Jeez. Yeah. So when you're not able to slow-mo, you basically have just like a few seconds where you have to dodge these overmode red bullets. And then usually you can kill a few things and like get back to slow motion. The last part of the game and the boss patterns especially, they basically are wanting you, you know, they feel designed for you to be in slow motion when dealing with them, and like dodging them at full speed is you know, certainly doable like this one, but you know, you're not going to have an easy time. It's going to be like hard as shit. I wish I had whoa! I wish I had gone out of slow mode there so you could see that pattern at full speed one more time. Oh, these enemies are cool. They put out a ton of shit. That was a mid-boss. Not every level has a mid-boss, but this one does. Trying to wait. I never know. You know, yeah, again, didn't play enough to know whether I'm for sure doing the optimal thing here with this. But, you know, it's a bunch of enemies and a bunch of bullets on screen, so I can't imagine canceling at any point is really the worst idea. Ugh. Now I'm getting so many score items that like the extends are coming fast and furious, I believe. Yeah, I'm at 2,000 for the level, almost 2,500, so that's 5 extends. See, it's those moments of like 2 to 3 second periods where you have to recharge up that are going to test you in this game. Like, can you hang for a few seconds at normal speed in these last levels? If you can, then you've got a pretty good chance of clearing. Okay, I got the 6th extend there. Woo! Second to last boss. There's like a little poem about going to France in the back of the boss warning screen, which is, again, a nice little vaporwavy touch that I don't understand, but I enjoy. Okay, just shamelessly at the, you know, this late in the game, I'm figuring better to just cut through all of my energy. You know, you get 100 energy to start every life. Better to use that up pretty much right off the bat, because these patterns, okay, this one I try and dodge for a little while. These patterns are pretty mean. And so you're likely to kind of take a death, especially with the aforementioned kind of hitbox wonkiness. So, oh, did I say this was the second to last boss? I think this is, no, it is second to last boss. Yeah. So here I'm trying to conserve it after, like, in the gaps between those circle patterns. And here I'm dodging at full speed for a little while. Not doing too bad. I only have 2 lives, so I'm trying to be a little bit conservative and get some score for... There's another extend. Whoa, whoa. Got 11 gems left, so trying to conserve it for the end. Wow. Am I gonna do it? Ah. Oh, fuck. There we go. Nice. I guess I knew I may as well, 11 wasn't going to get me too far in that pattern, so I may as well just save that for the end, as opposed to get 2 seconds of slow dodging and then have to full speed dodge the rest of it anyway, and then not get the cancel at the end of the boss. Okay, Stray. This is this guy's very Judgment Silver Sword, very long and intense boss fight. And it just the reason mostly reminds me of the last boss of Judgment Silver Sword is because at a certain point it starts getting really pissed and flying down at you and flying side to side. And just remind me of that game because I if I'm remembering correctly, the final boss does that as well. Not too tough a pattern to dodge here. Kind of try and get ahead of where 2 bullets are going to crisscross, and that creates a gap for you. Is my strategy there. When you do cutbacks in this pattern, you almost have to be oh, I went to the left. I should have stayed in the center. You can't... The hitbox won't let you dodge through the sides of this. You have to be right in the middle. So, unfortunate loss of life there. Oh, here we go. He's just going to start dive bombing and just flying side to side. I'm just, being generous with my slow motion for survival here. Just using up my energy to make sure I don't waste it. Ooh! Yep, and now he's just going to shoot these ultra fast beams with the sound effect Q. And really, staying at the bottom is ideal here. If you try and go up like I do here in a sec, not with the slow-mo, you're fine doing that, but just like that, don't try and dodge up and around. Just really try side to side. I mean, I don't know, that's my personal way of dealing with it. Alright, I think this is the final pattern, and I've got 2 lives to deal with it, which is plenty. Oof. Yeah. Ooh. It's basically just wanting you to do some cave style, threading, and just doesn't give you quite the single pixel hitbox to make it happen. Not that it should. I'm not trying to be a bullet hell has to have single pixel hitbox or it's not good. But for what they're asking you to do, for the specific patterns they're throwing at you, I kind of do wish it was a little smaller in this one. waiting for the optimal time to cancel, and that's the game. Cool. Very good Dojin game that, again, it's free to download, or you can play it in a web browser. Yeah, thanks for watching this one, and highly recommend you check Klorets out and give it a night or two of your time. I bet you won't regret it.